Folks, we're live, back with another episode of Cagematch Chronicles. This time covering FTR. This time we have three. I have three co-hosts. We're up in the participants here. Novi, how are you, brother?
We did a wonderful New Japan grin along last night. I got about an hour and a half of sleep before work. I was late to work by 20 minutes, and I felt like I've been living a fever dream all day because of it. So I am trying to re-ground myself by talking about some FTR matches that are all quite fun to watch because FTR are a great tag team.
That's true. Quite frankly, the greatest tag team alive, maybe. At one point, at least. Khalid, you're very tired. How are you doing?
I'm going to sleep like a baby tonight. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so excited to talk about these matches though, but that New Japan show, wow, just excellent stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm ready to get into this FTR.
Let's freaking go. We have a new addition on the show this month. Caden Lee, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I watched 14 wrestling matches today, 9 over in Nihon.
That's about 2 more than you've had all year, right?
Yeah, that's actually like I haven't watched this many matches in a day in like a really long time. Wow. So yeah, I'm excited for this. I got through the 5. I got through 2 before. I got through 2 after New Japan, before I took a little 3-hour nap and woke back up at 10, and then I got through the other 3 this afternoon. Wow. So I'm ready.
Respectable. That's respectable. Bombs is here. Hello, Bombs. How are we doing?
Bombs.
Yeah.
Feast.
All right. Off rip. Let's go left to right. I'll start. Or actually, fucking Novi will start. When was the first time you guys can remember seeing FTR, or what I would assume at the time was the revival for most of us at least? Mm-hmm. Novi, you go first. What was the beginning of your awareness of FTR and then your eventual fandom?
Well, my awareness with FTR was not for the revival. It was as FTR when they pulled up in their wonderful truck on Dynamite at Daly's place. That was the first glimpse of them I got, and they very quickly became one of my favorite tag teams in the world to watch. I have a t-shirt of theirs, and I don't have that many wrestling t-shirts. I've seen them live a million times. I've seen them on DPW. I've seen them in AEW because I'm from North Carolina, and they hang out here all the time as Asheville natives. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I love this team. They're probably could be up there for my favorite tag team of all time. I just love watching them work.
Yeah, they're fantastic workers. Khalid, how about you?
It's actually pretty interesting. Because I had to speak to somebody about this before I even realized it. But as a tag team, like the revival FTR, I definitely got aware of them in NXT, of course. But Dax Harwood in 2010, he wrestled as, I believe it was Casey McKnight. I believe that's what his name was. And he did a show in Wilmington. I didn't go to the show, but there was a poster outside of like wherever they were wrestling, and his face was on it. And it was where I think about it, it was such a jarring like poster because he had hair at the time. He had that long hair, and I'm pretty sure he had that pink gear at the time. He had like the Randy Savage tribute gear, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was I was like, wonder who that is. Because I mean, this is 2010. I was like 8 years old. So I'm like a wrestling geek at the time. I'm like, yo, or WWE anyway. I'm like, yeah, I should go here. I didn't go. Fast forward. I see the revival. I'm like, who's that bald guy? He looks very familiar. It turns out it's the same guy. So it's such a small world because, they're from North Carolina, like Novi said. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, to see where they're at now, top of the fucking top, it's
real. Yeah, seriously.
Literal top guys. Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah. Caden Lee, how about you?
Yeah, I started watching wrestling in like late 2017, so I probably would have seen them. Like, I can't remember specifically like my first memory of them, but definitely like sometime. I would assume they were on Raw at that point. That's what makes sense to me. and seeing them there, and like the way they were presented was not the greatest. So I really I never like understood it. I was like, oh, okay, like guys, and they explained like, oh, these are like old school tag guys, whatever. They explained it on commentary, but it was new. I didn't really know, and so over the years, as I like started getting more into wrestling, I started learning, started like hearing how good they were, and then I started kind of noticing a little bit, and then you get into like the FTR stuff where I really like fell in love with them.
Yeah, that's definitely like. Why am I echoing?
I don't know. I'm hearing you echo though, so it's not me.
Khalid, Caden Lee, what's happening here? We're back. Anyways, I think that's what most of, at least a lot of people's fandoms is like they were aware of who the revival was, and then they kind of exploded in AEW, obviously. Real quick, Ray's here. What's up? Marcos, my brother. Hello. Bombs says, you're not asking me, but FTR versus Bullet Club Gold 2 out of 3 falls is the first match that happened to be on TV when I decided to watch wrestling again after like 12 years or some shit.
Jesus.
That's why I love them forever. That rules. What a fucking match to come back to. Oh my god.
What a match. We didn't cover it because it was just very long, and that would have been a lot to watch considering we have a couple other long ones on this. But that match is amazing.
I also, to be fair, I didn't want to cover that because there's a video on my channel where like I go in depth on that fucking match. So
that is true.
All right. Off rip. The Revival, American Alpha, April 1st, 2016, Takeover Dallas. This match is particularly painful for me because instead of going to this show, I went to Mania 32. So, yeah.
Failure.
Speaking of yeah. So, yeah. You know what I mean? Sick ass theme song. This song forever. Hold a place in my heart. I love these. This was like, I was in on these guys at this time.
Yeah. Well, you're a proud Southern boy, so
I am. Very true. Just to get into the match, though, the beginning portions of this match are beautiful, beautiful stuff. All the sequences between Dax and Gable are like classic pro wrestling. Like the back and forth to start, Dax has control a lot of the time, but then you get these like huge explosions from Gable, and I mean, they can only be described as like Steiner-esque, really, which is an interesting conversation to have about American Alpha because a lot of the time people talk about Gable as like the angle guy, but I'll bring him in here now. Fucking Jason Jordan to me is so much more like angle. He's so much more of like a meathead freak, like his big ass traps throwing down the straps. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I love American Alpha. I'll get into an instance later where I legitimately cried. The Revival at this point were like so good at being heels that they kind of had me convinced that they would just be career heels. They were and still are very, very good at playing the role like the old school cutting the ring in half, bumping and feeding tag team, which they do a lot of in this match. I just never thought I'd see them do anything else. I actually completely fucking forgot that they turned face and then went to NXT, which we'll talk about in a second. But I completely forgot about that. I thought that they were just heels all the way through until they turned face in AEW a couple years ago. But yeah, I mean, that aspect of their game is so good. I hope they go back to it soon, please. Dax, if you're watching, first of all, unblock me. Second of all, go back to this. I love how they get to Jason Jordan's hot tag. Gable makes like a dive for Jordan's hand, but then Dax catches him and like in midair catches his leg. Fucking ruled. But then Jason Jordan's hot tag. This is the part where I cried. Actually, I cried. He was like, he was so good. He had so much potential. Why did they make him Kurt Angle's son when he was wrestling? I don't get it. Anyways, the finishing sequence of this match with like the dueling pins is great. I said this before, but on commentary, this is the portion where Corey Graves just talks about Owen Hart. A little weird to hear. Jason Jordan tagging in behind Dax's back and coming out of fucking nowhere with the spear in the corner was godly, like a godly camera shot.
Perfect camera shot.
Yeah, dude. And then that led to the Grand Amplitude and American Alpha winning the tag titles for the first time. I love this match. I vividly remember watching it in my living room. This and Sammy versus Shinsuke and like legitimately jumping up and down, losing my shit over this match. A very hot opener that like set up one of the NXT's best shows ever. I love the show a lot. Nofi,
Hmm.
are you as high on this match as I am?
I am, Brainbuster,
Yeah.
and I don't think that's very surprising to you, to be honest with you. This felt like the perfect tone setter for this 5-course meal we're going to be diving into today. Just right from the opening lockup, you feel the energy, you feel the kind of life FTR puts into their matches, and I'm feeling a lot of energy from the Dallas crowd
Oh yeah,
specifically.
brother.
They are hot and ready to go. At one point later in the match, Cash does lose Gable. He can't hold him up, kind of drops down, looks a little funky, and the NXT crowd chants Botchamania. It's a bit of a different time, I would say, but
Yeah, it's a very 2016 crowd, brother.
yeah, very
Just what
very
they did.
interesting crowd, but they were excited to be there, and sometimes that's all that matters. Um, it's not hard to see for me because I've personally have never seen American Alpha. I have seen obviously clips over the years, but it's not hard to see why they're so beloved. I mean, their quality of work is tremendous. They
Yeah.
are a million miles a second. They're athletic specimens, and more so than Gable, I felt here was Jason Jordan, who is
Yeah, brother.
his spear is incredible. His drop kick, it basically nails him in the head. The suplexes, he's just gorgeous to watch in the ring. And I think your comparison is much more apt for him being Gable than, or not
Angle.
Gable, Angle than Chad Gable.
Yeah.
You just see that kind of energy from him. You see the Angle energy. It's specific, it's unique, and he has it. FTR obviously great at the heel tricks, their
Mhm.
cutoffs, the way they control the ring. You see, there's a lot of things in this match that I'm not going to specifically point to because I want to see if anyone else does it. There's a couple things in this match that they do in every single one of these matches, and I'm sure you guys know what they are, but they are their favorite spots in the world, and I loved seeing it progress. But they do it very well, so I have no
Yeah.
problem with it. But they're the best at it.
There's a structure to their match that became very apparent through watching these matches.
Yes,
I'll talk about that later, but keep going.
yes, but we're laying the groundwork for this conversation because it will happen. Because I felt that very early on. The finishing sequence, perfection, camera shots,
Mhm.
great. It is kind of interesting to note this is our earliest match on this by a good bit.
Yeah.
It is kind of crazy that FTR still, while they can't be as athletic as they are here, they still work with that same vigor and that
Yeah.
same craftsmanship 9 years later. It's especially on that collision match they had recently. It's wonderful to see. I was very high on this match. I thought it was excellent.
Hell yeah. They're doing it again tonight, by the way, that match. I'm very excited to watch that.
Sure are.
Khalid, what are your thoughts overall of this match?
First off, I would like to say the angle comparisons, right?
Yeah.
I would definitely say Jason Jordan is definitely the more angle guy. I personally though, I think Chad is more early angle. Jason
Yeah, I can
is
see what
more
you mean.
like right before or like painkiller angle.
Yeah, he's more like TNA angle than anything.
Yeah, he's like
Just like hyper athleticism.
Yeah,
freak.
yeah, it's definitely like I feel like they like when they went to the main roster and that whole thing happened with Jason Jordan being the Angle Son thing. I was like, okay, this is not. What are we doing here? But speaking on the match, this is definitely one of the first like revival matches I've seen. I want to say I've probably seen something like late 2015, but this is the earliest one I can really remember. And yeah, just seeing how their work has progressed since then is very interesting. I'm going to say something that I think Novi is referring to. I don't know. In the middle of the match and it did happen for all of these matches. The cutting the ring in half, do it every single time.
They do it, and then it's one of the two. They'll like their opponent will be like crawling towards the other corner to tag in, and then they'll like sweep around.
Yes,
They
that's
so
exactly the one I was thinking of was the sweep around.
Yeah,
every time.
I find it intriguing because I mean we're going to talk about it later because in the later matches they're faces. So the fact that they can take a spot like that is very heelish. And when they started doing it, they were heels, and they can take it and turn it into a face route. It's very, very interesting, very smart, very high IQ stuff. FTR, they're such a smart team, and even early on, this is 2016, and you can see that they are students, like genuine students of tag team wrestling. But Jason Jordan and Chad Gable, I do feel like they're like, this is forgotten a little bit, or starting to become more forgotten, which is unfortunate because that was that tag division in general at that time. It was like there's some sleepers in here, and it's a lot of good stuff going on in this division. And yeah, this match, I like it. I'm not gonna say I'm like super high on it or anything. It's not my favorite out of these 5, but this is definitely a good match, and it just shows that, you know, they didn't get good out of nowhere. They've always been like this. They've always had this type of talent inside.
I'd say of the 5, it's probably the most unique, just for the setting and just for the kind of match they're trying to have and the team they're having it with. It definitely stands out amongst the rest as like being kind of special.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Caden Lee, how did you feel about this match?
Yeah, I love this match. I watched it a few years ago. I don't remember like the reason why I watched it because like I have not seen a single other match on Takeover Dallas, so it wasn't even like a thing. Like I know I need to watch Shinsuke Sammy. I just haven't like. There's a lot of like really good matches. I've just like kind of held.
I will say, fair warning, that match is like crazy hyped.
Yeah.
At the time, it deserved it. It ages a little weirdly now. I watched it a couple months ago. It ages a little weirdly, but anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. So I don't remember why I watched it. I think maybe just because like I was in a big FTR stage and I had heard it was good. So I went back and watched it. And watching it again, I still believe it's fantastic. I think like out of the 5 matches that we watched, interestingly, like this was really the only one where FTR worked as a heel and like worked class. Like technically they're heels in another match later. But this was the only one where they like truly did work as heels here. So it was interesting to see that style. The other big thing I noticed was, and you see it as you go through the years. I always forget how like skinny they were.
Yeah, dude.
They were really, like, it was NXT. That's the PC thing, bro. Yeah. Joe always talks about it. You're in your best shape when you're in the PC, and that's true.
Yeah, they start bulking up, like, and you kind of see the progression later. But yeah, they're very skinny. The crowd was really good here too. I'm a big fan of the Kay Bailey Hutchinson Center as a venue. It's not really used often, but I'm generally a pretty big fan of it. Same. I like the look of it. It's different. It's unique. It's a convention.
It kind of reminds me of like, it has like the same bowl structure as that the venue that they ran Dynamite at right before All In in the UK.
Yeah,
like it's like lower upper bowl, I guess. Yeah, is like kind of structured the same.
Yeah, it's very bowly. It's awesome. It rules. Like this. Everybody said a lot of great things about it. There's a spot that FTR likes to use a lot where I think I'm getting it right with the people is Dax will have control over a wrestler and kind of like push them into the ropes, and then Cash will come up and hit them when the ref's not looking. And sometimes they'll just do a normal hit. Sometimes they'll do it with a belt. Every time it looks fantastic. Yeah. And they do a good job of like making sure the referee's actually distracted by whatever Dax is doing. It's like little things that they do. And a lot of like what FTR does can get repetitive whenever you watch so many matches of theirs, but it's so well done. And they add like little things every time that makes it just a tiny bit different. Like they rule. And this early version of them, it's interesting to go back and watch, knowing like what we've seen for the last 4 years or 5 years.
Yeah, very, very, very good stuff. Omar's here. He says, "What's good, guys? FTR are legit my favorite tag team ever." That made me go, I get it in terms of why people love tag team wrestling. Yeah, I wish. You guys know Hunter on Twitter. Hunter.
Yes.
That little fucker hates tag team wrestling. And I tried to tell him, hey, brother, watch some damn FTR matches. And he goes, I watched the Briscoe matches. They were fine.
That's disgusting. I didn't need to know that about him. And that's just unfortunate. That's crazy opinion to have, I'm afraid. I'm going to add him.
Little fucker. I'm
going to threaten him.
Next up, some more NXT stuff. The Revival versus Red Dragon from November 20th, 2019. Caden Lee. We'll start with you this time.
So I wanted to quickly try to see so I just wanted to see what Cagematch gave this and like what Dave said. I did not like this match. I thought this was like really boring. I told the guys before we went live, like there was one match that I was like struggling to stay awake, and this was it. It's like it's like it's a TV match, so I get elements of it. It's fine. Like it's very like it's well worked. But yeah, just I don't know. Like, nothing really like clicked for me properly. It's also like 2019 Bobby Fish, and that's when he kind of like really goes downhill. And
I agree. However, spoiler, he's awesome in this match. Go ahead.
he's cool. I just like I really struggled for like this one. I really struggled for. I will say the Power and Glory spot. I like.
Oh, dude, it's so good, right?
Dude, I had this like. So my eyes are getting heavy, and then I see them start going, and then I hear Nitro go for the Power, and I go whoa, and like I woke up and I was locked in for the rest of the match. So they got me in the end because of the Power and Glory, but I like this one just like I struggled a little bit with this one, which is fine. Like it happens.
That's fair.
Something I noticed was like this was right around when they started using the hashtag FTR on their tights, and it still rules. Like now I really don't get why Vince let them do it or Paul, but
yeah,
I really don't understand how that how they got cleared for TV. But
hey, Caden, what'd Cody say? Fuck the Revival.
Hey, a pretty good tag team. Khalid, how'd you feel this match? Oh, you're muted.
My bad.
Uh-oh.
I was actually just going to talk about these. Okay. I was actually going to talk about the same exact spot when Dash goes for the splash. It's not even a fucking splash,
bro.
It's literally him flailing in the air.
Yes, dude. It looks so awesome. I love it.
Oh my god, that shit is
He's
so
literally
funny. So
in midair. It's so good.
But this match. Honestly, I think I would have liked it more if it happened at an earlier time, but it just wasn't possible because Red Dragon or Undisputed in general, they weren't in NXT yet or anything like that. I feel like in 2016, probably would have fucking knocked out the fucking wazoo.
Yeah.
But even here, and I know it's hard to like, there's a certain guy in the match, and name's Bobby Fish. I know it's hard to be like, like it's Bobby Fish. We know what this guy did, but that aside, all right. Red Dragon, they're still up there. They're still
good. It's a good team. It's a good team.
Yeah, it's a good team. And this also the FTR thing. I thought that they did that because they thought they were going to get the Bucks or like something like that, but I guess that we know that didn't happen, but
yeah, I know.
I was whenever I did see that, I was like, I wonder if they thought they were going to get Cody or the Bucks or some type of Bullet Club thing was going to happen, because I know Triple H is a fucking indie mark, so
True.
He's probably in there keep like yeah, wear those tights, but this match not being I didn't even know this wasn't like a title match or anything. I looked on Cagematch, I was like, this wasn't a title match. It was 25 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not even the main event either.
Yeah, not even the main event.
It was just smack dab in the middle of the show.
It was like, I mean, honestly, I like it, but I could have probably guessed that people was on Twitter at the time, probably like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
They probably thought shit was hot ass around the time.
They was like, yo, this. I mean, and like Caden said, he was tired. He's sleeping. His eyes is drooping during the match. I could imagine the genuine TV audience is like, bro, why is this shit still going on? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I think the link was probably not well received.
Yeah.
I will add, just because I think it's like relevant to the conversation, I'm pretty sure that during this was the on AEW was the Dynamite Diamond Ring Battle Royal.
Oh, that's fair. Okay, that is actually very interesting. So they were counter programming the fucking Battle Royal.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the date. That makes sense. That actually makes sense for this to be on there. You kind of forget about that time where they were like counter programming each other and would book some crazy shit on both.
This was what, 2 months after Dynamite?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was very early into the wars.
Actually, I think that was the 8th episode of Dynamite. So
Yeah, so like a little over a month. Yeah.
Yeah,
God,
that's
what a time to be alive, bro.
honestly,
Wednesday Night Wars.
never get something like that like ever again. I mean, just for like TV wrestling in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, this Red Dragon. I honestly, this is probably my least favorite out of the 5 that's here. Even though the Red Dragon is like one of my more favorite teams.
Mhm.
And not even talking about the wrestling, just like I get sad watching this because of can't have this no more. I can't have this no more. I can't have it no more. I can't see it no more. I mean, maybe we'll get something close tonight because Kyle and Roddy, of course.
Yes.
God,
I hope.
I'm praying for the heel turn. I'm praying. For
Yeah,
that
I
heel
assume
turn.
the heel turn is tonight, right?
It's
gotta
got to happen.
Yeah, it's gotta happen. It's gotta
be.
happen.
I think they'll lose again. And yeah. Anyways,
2019 though, going from 2016 to 2019, you can still see the work is they haven't lost a step really. They haven't lost a step, even though they're facing a different style team because they're Red Dragons less. They're not as mat wrestling as American Alpha. They're more strikes, a little bit.
Like they are mat wrestling, but in a different way.
Yeah, in a different way, and they still do the cutting the ring in half spot, and it works good again.
Sure do.
It's so funny because like now I'm thinking like FTR matches and how many times they cut the ring in half. It's like
that's their thing, brother. They're fucking no flips, just fists. Cut the ring off. Old school.
Cut the ring off. Fuck the other guy. Hit that guy with the apron.
Yeah, we bail outside. We sweep his legs. Do it all the time.
They're a good tag team.
Yeah, they go hard all day, all night.
True.
But yeah, this is probably my least favorite match. Like I ain't really got too much really to say about it. I'm just more like nostalgic about Red Dragon in general, and
understandable.
Yeah, it's and I mean like we know what happens not too long after this with them leaving and going to AEW. So this is not much to really say there for me.
That's fair. That's fair. Novi, how about you?
If I had to put a sleepiest match in terms of my sleepiness, it would definitely be this one. It is quite long, and considering it is just a TV match, the vibes are a little different. Especially like with the first match, it was shorter, of course, but the Dallas crowd was just so excited to be there. Yeah. This NXT has changed, brother. It's a different time. It's still got like the NXT in it, but it's different. It just doesn't feel right. It feels incorrect. But I still enjoy the match. Like I'm not like super in love with it. It definitely was my least favorite, but I still enjoy it because I enjoy watching these two work. I enjoy their styles and how they clash with one another. You can definitely tell how far tag raps in NXT has come from 2016 to 2019, given, they had all that time in the middle of the show. Obviously some counter programming business, but giving them that opportunity to have a great match was different than how it first was. I think the beginning parts is where I struggle with it for sure. FTR is doing their cutoff stuff with it. I still enjoy. But then the match kind of turns into a tornado, as most tag matches did during this time. And most matches do now, to be fair. Every match is a tornado tag. But it starts to get really sweet because they get really quirky with all their sequences and their tag team offense. Both these teams are really good at tag team offense. And they're both very good at the cutoffs. So it meshes really well at that point. It picks up. It's an enjoyable match, but definitely my least favorite. Definitely not one I'll ever really go back to, but I don't regret watching it,
That's fair. You guys are fucking wrong. I like this match a lot. I gotta say, first off, the Undisputed Era music. Fuck, brother. This shit's so good. One of the best theme songs of all time. Anyways. Yeah, I thought this match was awesome. Kyle O'Reilly is a psycho in this match. He has has Cash on the ground and he's like snaking around him and he's like changing position and hitting these fucking ridiculous strikes. Just a freakazoid, dude. Absolute freak.
At one point, he just falls like splat on the ground on a punch.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
and he just goes up and he goes super high too. It's not like he's like it's a low punch. He just goes does a full jump and just splats.
Yeah.
What a freak.
He's a freak. I will say this is when I began to like note the format that a lot of FTR matches have, where it's like the opponents get a lot of heat on Cash for the beginning portions of the match, which leads to the Dax hot tag, which I think honestly has contributed to the idea that a lot of people have that Dax is a better wrestler than Cash, because Dax always gets like the big spots. I think that format's started to change now a little bit, especially, I mean, people can recognize the greatness that is Cash Wheeler now. But in this match, it's definitely like a lot of Dax, a lot of, I mean, at this point in their career as well, just a lot of Dax.
Yeah, he gets the hot tags and stuff.
Yeah.
Even here though, I'll drop this bomb maybe for some people. I'm definitely more of a Cash Wheeler fan than I am Dax. I love the way Cash works.
Can't even blame you. He's fucking awesome.
He's such a freak. And during this time, like
Yeah.
he does get freakier in the matches we'll watch, but even in this one, he's like, he just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, he's bumping like a madman too.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Dax has a brainbuster on Bobby Fish, and it made me realize how much I love the sound of NXT's ring at this time. It's like it's so dense, but it's like dense but explosive at the same time. I know it's like a direct contradiction, but whatever. The entire portion with Dax and Bobby is awesome. Cash hits an apron DDT on Kyle and he dies. Very sick. And I have to say it, the fucking Power and Glory spot is fantastic. Again, the mid-air flailing of his arms by Cash is awesome. It popped me tremendously. Dax almost dies on some kind of like middle rope business where he like catches Bobby Fish and makes his nose bleed or something. He almost dies. Cash dives into the ring post and then almost headbutts the fucking ring bell after that, and Kyle hits a running knee on him, which then leads to the finish of fuck. Khalid, what's the move called? Not chasing the dragon.
Enter the dragon.
No, the one where they it's like the leg sweep with like the head
The
kick.
high-low?
High-low. Thank you. Yeah. A
That's a good
very
move.
unique finish for this match because it felt like they were building to something like a little more bombastic, you know, but it just kind of ends pretty quickly. It's a very weird place, like very weirdly placed given the previous like 20 minutes or so. But overall, I thought this was like a very good TV match with a lot of stuff packed into it that messed with the pacing a little bit, but I thought it was quite good, to be totally honest. Bombs, you should watch this match. Fuck these other guys.
You should still watch it because it's definitely a match worth watching. And you
I
might
said it sucked.
No.
only
Only I said it sucked.
because he fell
Okay.
asleep. So you know.
Okay. Well, hopefully you don't think this next match sucks. FTR versus the Young Bucks, April 6th, 2022. This is 6 years almost to the day after the first match we covered. The Bucks attacked FTR after the match versus the Briscoes a couple of days before this, which is still the only time I've seen the Bucks live, infuriatingly so. This is our first match in a trio of matches from 2022. This is FTR's big career year, the belt collector run, if you will.
If you will.
And you can see why from this match. The pace at which these fellas work is fucking unbelievable. Like knowing how these guys work. Not that like both teams aren't good now still, but you know there's a little wear and tear going on. Sorry, I messed up my fucking notes. God damn it. I already did it earlier, but I have a big paragraph here where I am petitioning for more Cash Wheeler hot tags. I still stand by that.
That's a good petition. I'll sign it.
Yeah. I agree with Bombs, by the way. This is the
Yeah.
best FTR versus Bucks match. Kind of almost easily so. If it was, the latter match is probably my second favorite, to be quite honest. Very good match.
Maybe a take.
You'll get your time out in a bit, you heathen. Dax saves Cash from some heat, and of course the hot tag comes in. Dax hits a pile driver on Matt and pins him, and JR goes, I don't understand why that wasn't a finish. That was a perfect pile driver, which I assume
really
is one of those
mad.
times where he's like hides his true gripe just behind the wrestling commentary, which always rules. This match escalates very nicely. They don't ever go somewhere and like get the crowd super heated just to bring them back down. It's like the power driver near fall into the Rana from Nick onto Cash from the top rope, and then it's Bucks hitting the big rig, and then more bang for your buck. It's like escalating very, very nicely. The belt shot into the near fall was fucking awesome, and the crowd it was like we watched a match for the 1988 episode, or maybe 85, whichever we did.
It was 88.
88. Thank you. It was the Fantastics versus Midnight Express.
Oh yeah.
And when the Fantastics won that match, the entire place fucking yippee arms in the fucking air. That's exactly what they did here. It was very, 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 very good. Very simple finish, but again, the crowd just pops huge for it. I like this match a lot. I was a little scared that I wasn't gonna like it as much as I did the first time, just because at this time, this is probably the peak of my AEW fandom, to be totally honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I love this match a lot. Yeah. Anyways, fuck it, Caden, how'd you feel?
Yeah, so I have a lot of thoughts on this. So Novi, I think has a take. I don't know what his is. Mine is I adored their first match. I was one of the few 100 people that were at Dailies. I think Marcus was there too for the show, and
Definitely
so
was.
seeing that match in that setting was like so great. And so the second one, I had a lot of obviously a lot of high expectations for. I think everybody had really high expectations, no matter what you thought of the first match. And when I remember when I watched it, I don't know what happened in 2022, but I remember not liking it as much as I wanted to. I don't know why, because I really liked the Young Bucks at that point, and I loved FTR were I think becoming my favorite tag team in 2022, because the Briscoes match was a few days before. And me and Bus were there for that one. And so, yeah, I was really in on these two teams, but for some reason it didn't click with me back in 2022. So I hadn't rewatched it until today. And my God, this is fantastic. There's a genuine hatred between the two teams. They genuinely, they don't like each other. We all know this.
Mm-hmm.
But the way they put that into their wrestling in this is so different than any other match that we saw. I'll talk about it a little bit more when we talk about the Briscoe stuff, because I have direct comparisons there. But yeah, there's the way they channel that is just, it's incredible. Rick Knox is really bad in this, unfortunately. There's a pin that they do. There's a double pin. I think Matt and Dax do, and Matt's shoulders are just not even on the mat. And Rick starts counting for some reason.
There's also a point where who was it? One of the Bucks members is actively kicking at one of the members of FTR, and JR goes, "Get a hold of him, ref."
There's another moment too. He gets in the way of a corner spot and has to basically dive out of the way, or he was going to die. He was going to.
I remember that one too.
Yeah,
he's pretty bad.
Yeah,
he's just terrible at his job.
I really like the finish where Knox counts to 3 and then notices the leg, which plays off of his incompetency, because it's just part of his story. And then it was a great way to get a pop, and they didn't do it. When that happened, because I didn't remember the finish, I was worried that they were going to do the thing of the Bucks win, and they celebrate for a minute, and then Tony does. No, they were immediately, they got right back into the match and they finished it up. This is it's really good. I need to rewatch the first one to kind of remember how I feel and figure out which one I prefer. But I definitely prefer this to the third and fourth matches by a lot. The latter match I also need to rewatch, but significantly better than the third at least. This is
the third is pretty.
The third match is not a good match.
I think the third match sucks. But.
Yeah. Novi, I'm gonna save your piping hot take for last.
It's
Khalid.
not that piping.
Nah, bro, he's gonna say a slur. Khalid.
He's gonna get kicked off, man. This fucking over. This again, just like the last match, I'm nostalgic about it, but for a different reason. Not for for what the teams do now or anything like that. If anything, I've liked what the Bucks did in Japan. I actually enjoyed a bit, or their Wrestle Dynasty match. I actually liked it, but the title defenses on TV and having these like this match now if we were to do this match now, it probably would not happen on TV. It'd probably be on pay-per-view.
I think that's like one of the monthly AEW pay-per-views is like there's a lot of pros and cons. One of the major cons is that we just don't get important title matches on TV anymore.
Mhm.
That needs to change soon, I think. Like
Absolutely.
making the TV more consequential is just like a net positive. So soon I would like that to change, please.
It also like reinforces the idea, or not the idea, but just wrestlers that we know as work rate guys like FTR. If we know them as people who always wrestle, they're wrestling all the time.
Yeah.
Why would they not be defending the belts when they have them?
Yeah, and also, why would they not lose them on TV? You know what I mean? Like, logically, they're going to have an off night. You know?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a lot of scared booking going on. People need to stop being pussies. All right, my bad.
Talk to him.
Hope you're listening, Tony.
Yeah, Tony. But yeah, this match I do like. I do think this is the. I think this is their best match. Or not their best match, but my favorite match. This is my favorite match of their collection. I don't think any of the other matches are bad. I just think they're just not as good as this one. I do like the ladder match though. I know some
ladder match is just so like
it's
like perverted because they go out there.
Each other. They're literally trying
they
to
go out there after Brian and Will, and they force the crowd into liking the match. Cash Wheeler dies like 3 times in that match. It's insane.
I'm pretty sure his back was like already fucked up. It definitely got more fucked up after that. But another thing I would like to point out here is this 2022, so it's 6 years after the first match, 3 years after the last match, and at first when they would do like in the last match when Cash did the splash, he's flailing, but it gives off the vibe that like it's something uncomfortable that like he doesn't do. But when you go to this match, it seems like Dax and Cash, they're way more comfortable than what they do now. They're way much more. It looks like they're more confident in the ring. Not saying like they're not confident as wrestlers, but just as progression, just
it's more comfortable.
Yeah, they just look more comfortable and they look more. I mean, that's valid because they're the champs. They're the champs. They're double champs. And this is right before that Forbidden Door where they get the IWGP titles. So like, yeah, they're showing off like that they've matured as wrestlers, and that they're still maturing, they keep maturing, and things like that. And then they're doing it against the Bucks, which is like immature wrestlers. Like, come on, immature guys in the ring. You know, they're cocky, celebrating early when obviously bro has his foot on the ropes. And yeah, they just make it look great. I'm actually rewatching it right now. I'm just reflecting.
But fuck.
You know, because it's like I said, I wasn't going to cover those spots, but I don't want to make sure I miss anything.
Yeah,
yeah. This match again. This is my number 2. This is definitely my number 2.
All right, hell yeah. Novi, what slur did you want to say?
All of them, in fact.
Okay.
Wow.
All of them. Jesus.
I think a lot of the time with the FTR Bucks matches, people seem to think that people seem to underrate a lot of their outings. And I think it's because of the third one. I think 3 of their matches are very good. I think this is in third for me of those matches.
Third.
I still really like this match. You have the pudgy Bucks being heels, and the on top of the mountain FTR, which this is when I really started getting invested in FTR. Like this babyface run, people tend to overrate or underrate just how over they were. And you see it in this match, the double sharpshooter, the Dax hot tag, the people are alive for them. And especially towards the finish, when they false them out with the foot on the ropes, the fans are fucking pissed. They need this to restart immediately. And luckily it does. And that makes the finish even more hot because of that. I also, the spots that we've been noticing, there's one we haven't mentioned that actually does continue to happen that I will point out here. The FTR obviously love doing their cutoff spots where they wrap around the ring. They love cutting the ring in half in different kind of ways. They also love when the two teams face off and they do the hockey fight.
Yeah,
They do
you
it
sure
in
do, huh?
all 5 of these matches. They love it. And I think it's good for them. It works perfectly. It's their thing. So I have no problem with it. But it's very funny because at this point I saw it happen. I said, hold on, wait a second. I've seen this before a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Well, sweetie.
this is a great match. And you mentioned about the commentary, or you mentioned about Rick Knox. The commentary for this match, you do kind of notice that the fellas are taking a fall. They are struggling in this one. They're messing things up. It is what it is. It's not the point I want to focus on. I want to focus on Shivani's notable line to end this match. Because we all know him as the "what an AEW moment. That was a hell of a match. One of the best I've ever seen." In this match, he says, and I quote, "Is there such a thing as a 10-star match? If there is, I think we just solved the damn thing." Okay, that's enough of that, pal.
Yeah, it's a little
all
more.
all love and respect, but it's enough of that. Okay.
Go 5 if you want.
Yeah, I don't know if that breaks the scale necessarily. But I think this is my third. I would put FTR 1 at number 2. I'd put the FTR Bucks 1 2. And I put the ladder match at 1 for me.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I like that match a lot.
Yeah, something about that match just it connects with me in a different kind of way. You talked about the willing the crowd into loving it. It's very connective, especially during that time too, where I was just in a weird place with both teams, and they go out and they have that match. It's just that kind of thing connects with me a lot. But this is still very good. It is probably, I don't know if I'd put it 4th of this 5, but I think I'd maybe think about it. The American Alpha match I might have over it.
I'd put it 3rd, I think.
I think I'd put it 4th. I think I like the American Alpha match a tad more. But this is still very good. All to say, these two teams are great, and this match is a great example of it.
Hell yeah. Speaking of, just 2 unbelievable tag teams. FTR versus the Briscoes. 2 out of 3 falls at Death Before Dishonor 2022. Khalid, we'll start with you this time, brother.
Yay.
Come back with fire.
Well, yeah, I mean, because I like 2 out of 3 falls matches. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really big on those. And then for it to be a tag team one, even when this match first happened, I was convinced that they wasn't gonna get past this, and then they did the dog collar match, obviously. So I was like, holy shit. One of my favorite tag rivalries, just in general. And when we were in the me and Novi, we were talking before the New Japan show yesterday. And he was talking to me, and he was like, you might want to pace the matches out because the 2 out of 3 falls match, the first fall was slow and all that stuff. And I was like, no, I'll be fine. It was a little slow. It was a little slow. I'm not going to. It's probably because I already had the context, or I've already seen the match, but even if I hadn't seen it, I had the context of it's a 2 out of 3 falls match. So the match is going to continue more. After this pinfall, the match is going to keep going. And the first fall, it felt like a to me a TV FTR match. What I was seeing, I felt like was very TV FTR. So in the first fall, they was doing their FTR stuff. It was very, they had the pace on lock, and it was completely on their way. I didn't even talk about the entrance, but FTR with the 3 belts is godly. I wish wrestlers cared about the belts as much as the fans. It just adds so much to your presence when you're holding the belts, you're showing them off right, you're not throwing them around everywhere, unless it's for the story. I understand it, but just as being defending champs, you're taking pride in these belts. Is very good. But the first fall reminded me of a TV FTR match. And the second fall, now this is where I start to get really high on the match, and it's the Briscoes. One of my favorite things about the Briscoes, and this is similar to how FTR likes to cut the ring in half and do their whole thing. The Briscoes, when they're in a match, and it's like a longer winded match, and it's been like some close falls, they've been losing a bit. They throw their morals out the door.
Yeah.
They say, no more clean wrestling. Let's get a little dirty. Let's get a little country. And they get to doing some fuck shit. Marks get to grabbing the chairs. Fucking Jay gets to try to, just doing like stiff shots, boxing, whatever he can do. It's really you can see it, like the mental shift of like, okay, like it's time to lock in. Like it's literally what it looks like when they're wrestling in that second fall, and that's what they did. They went crazy in that second fall, and then the third fall, both teams are just tuckered out, just absolutely just tired. And now you're in this blow for blow, whole altercation, and then the table spot. That table spot,
bro, it explodes.
I think that table spot, and then the like that one in the Takeshita was it ELP? I think it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where the table fucking blew the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's just good. Did I put the last match as my second? Did I put the Bucks match as my second match?
Yes.
I did. I'm dropping that down to third. This is my second match. My bad. Fucking forgot the placement we were going with. But yeah, this is like, I don't know. It again, just another match that unfortunately we won't see again for circumstances that are just out of control completely. RPJ, and I can only hope that something like this is like it's cemented, like forever. Like this is something that will never be forgotten. It will never have no revisionist history of like, oh, like this was actually bad. No, that is no. We will not be doing that. This is cemented top tier tag team wrestling, and it's a trilogy, and it all happens in a very quick amount of time. So no one's out of their prime or anything. No one's washed. It is top tier stuff. Yeah, that's how I got.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic match. Bomb says, Dax said somewhere that they all shared a bottle of tequila before the match, and now I can never unsee their collective booziness for the first fall. That rules, and I want to rewatch the first fall now because that pops me very much.
You can kind of tell. You
Really?
can kind of a little bit. You can, yeah.
That's so sick. These two are like these two teams, obviously, just such natural opponents. Like, people throw around the term wrestling soulmates a lot, but like, I don't know if there's anybody ever that fits that term as much as these guys. Yeah. Just the aggression that like both teams come with every fucking match they had. It's very, very good. I will say, for the first fall, I didn't do a lot of notes, but Cash and Jay is a matchup that we didn't get a lot of. Oh
my god!
And they are just,
bro. That chop exchange was.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, the loudness of the chop. They sounded so good.
So good. I like to point out that. Never mind. I have another fucking note about Cash's hot tag here. I was pretty pissed off. The first fall ends with a fucking Doomsday device that Dax dies on. Sick.
He bumps on the back of his neck.
He does.
Yeah.
I adore the way the second fall starts with like the roll up from Dax.
Yeah.
Very much like keeps the audience on their toes, which by the way, this audience, I was of the opinion before, like after the initial watch, that this crowd kind of sucked. I was so wrong. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. They're like the tension that's like you can feel it watching, like just from watching the match. Everybody's on their feet. They sound on commentary all the time, but like legitimately, everybody's on their feet. It's especially during the second fall when like the crowd brawling starts. Yeah, I mean, great atmosphere for the match. The build to the Cash Wheeler hot tag is awesome, and then he just fucking explodes. Like with Dax like ducking down after Mark sends the ropes, and then he like falls back just desperately with his arm out, hoping Cash can get the fucking tag. It's so sick. And then the end of the second fall, obviously everything like breaks down. They bring out the ring bell, which I think Jay might have hit Cash in the head with the fucking ring bell because you could hear it like ring off of his head.
Yeah.
Sick as fuck. The way at the end of the second fall, the crowd yells "Big Rig" when FTR hits it is godly. And then the strike exchange right at the beginning of the third fall with Cash and I believe Mark. Oh my fucking god. Incredible.
Mhm.
Like so fiery, so fucking good. I think this match might have the best, or at least the coolest big rig of all time. When Jay jumps to the second rope and like comes back for the crossbody, and they catch him midair. Very very cool. Another awesome spot is when Cash goes for the suplex on the outside, and they both like bounce off the ropes, but it's not. Usually when that spot happens, both guys go over the top rope. This time they like bounce back in like violently. It was sick. I completely forgot about the table spot. Like completely. The only like spot from the outside that I remember from this feud is the chairs in the dog collar match. And then also Mark does like a springboard something to the outside. I know that in the first match.
Yeah.
But yeah, the finish is actually the only thing from this match that like stuck in my mind from my first watch because I love it so much. Just something as simple as a top rope pile driver is enough to do Jay Briscoe in, and the way he just immediately fucking goes limp on Impact 2.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's perfect.
After I finished this match, I like gave myself a second to think about how I feel about the trilogy, and I tried to rank them. And I legitimately cannot come up with a solid list or ranking or whatever, just because every match has different aspects that they're all perfect. Every single one of them. It's wild. Makes you very sad that we're never going to see it again, but that also kind of adds to the specialty of the matches. You know, again, just legitimate soulmates. Caden Lee.
Yeah, this was the only one out of the three that I was not there for. Bust, I think you're the exact same situation as me.
Yep.
I think this was in Louisville.
Mhm.
This match is very good. However, I struggle with 2 out of 3 falls matches in general, and there were some moments that were like a tad bit towards the end, especially that were like a tad bit slow. So it didn't quite click with me as I remember it, like when it first came out, or when I first watched it, when I watched it live back in 2022. But it is still like a fantastic match. This one had like the Bucks match has a similar way where like they kind of start slow and they're feeling each other out a little bit and they're countering things. But this was it was a much different pace. Like they moved at a much slower pace, and a big part of that I saw was with the Bucks, they have that hatred that I talked about, but they don't have that with the Briscoes. They do it like later in the match, like the hatred sort of builds and builds, and then there's a boiling point towards the end, especially in the second and third fall. But at the start, a lot of it is built around respect and how much respect that these two teams have for one another. So while they're going at it and they're being very aggressive, it isn't as filled with hatred. So I think that added like a different level to this compared to the second Bucks match.
It's interesting because in the first match, it's there, like that level of just hatred for each other. Especially, I mean, just the Twitter promos were unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then you're right, it's not there as much in this match. And then the third match, I mean, that's what the entire match is built on.
Yeah,
that's a very interesting note, the way that the feud progresses over a year, basically.
Yeah, I loved the finish. I thought it ruled. Dax being just like Dax getting that second row pile driver and then just didn't even like really know what he was doing. He just kind of fell into the pin. Yeah, it added to like how exhausted these men were after the match. The table break also like ruled. I screamed when I saw that. I was like, whoa, oh my God. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. You brought up the crowd because I was like, I thought you were gonna bury the crowd. There were parts in this match where I really didn't like the crowd. There's a moment at the end where they go to do it was Mark and Cash. They go to do the suplex spot where they take it over the rope and then they go down to the floor, and they don't get all the way over, so they kind of like do it in the ring, which was fucking scary.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, that was one of the moments where like I forgot that both of like everybody in the match was like okay after, and I was like worried
Yeah, yeah.
to break their thing on that spot. But the crowd just like didn't really react to it, and I get like, oh, it's a botched move, but that still looked crazy, and there was
Yeah,
like,
it
not
still
really a
looked sick.
response.
The whiplash on it, yeah.
Yeah. That was like just at the end, like the crowd I thought was really good up until around the 30-minute mark. And there's some moments in the end where it just felt like and you said like tension. I didn't personally feel that, but also like I don't know, like I'm sure you're right. It's like everyone can kind of like tell what the audience says a little differently. For me, like quietness was like kind of took away from it a little bit, but
that's fair. That's fair. I think it might have also been added to like the fact that commentary, slightly out of context, is fucking awesome in this match. But they also like they take a lot of time to tell you like this crowd is on their feet, like
yeah,
you know, eyes glued type shit. So I probably just bought into that heavily.
I'm unfortunately at the point bust where like because I don't watch most shows with commentary, like make it a point to recognize it. I just kind of miss it. So that was something where I just like I missed the commentary for most of it.
Yeah, I can't like if commentary's dog shit, I'll turn it off. But I at least start every show with commentary. I have to.
I have it on no matter what. I just like kind of zone it out.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I mean, honestly, it's mainly for the crowd. Like having sound on is 99% for the crowd. Novi.
This match.
Go ahead.
This match is very good. Like you guys have said, the match begins. It's a face-off. FTR, Briscoes, Ring of Honor chants, dueling chants. I sat there. I said, "What a time to be alive!" Because I remember watching this live. I remember experiencing this in the moment and just taking it all in again. I hadn't ever come back to it because it's very long.
Yeah.
And I decided. I said, "It's time to lock in. It's time to see it." The somber, stone cold, serious tone of Ian Riccaboni. You mentioned it throughout the show. The audience is definitely on edge. They are locked in, but they are a little afraid, I feel like, of what's going to happen next. I think Ian sells that very well on commentary as a motorcycle passes by the house.
Jesus Christ.
Very loud. They do that frequently. It's whatever. This is a long match, so it's hard to focus on little moments, but there are a couple that I really loved. You mentioned it, the exchange from Wheeler and Jay, the chop exchange. There's so much energy to it. There's so much life. And it ramps up the aggression afterwards. So really, it's a point in the match you have to pay attention to. I love that aspect of it. The Briscoes cutting off the ring, FTR cutting off the ring. It's definitely, you can tell there's a difference in energy when it comes to this match compared to anything else we'll watch. And probably anything else, any other matches of FTRs that you'll watch, even the dog collar. This is different in some way than that.
I think Joe, when talking about this match, had a good. I was thinking about it as I was watching. He said, "This feels like the match that they would have like taken around the territories. You know, they would have traveled around with this one." And like watching it, that makes a lot of sense because like I mean, maybe not the table spot, but outside of that, they don't do a lot of stuff in this match that they wouldn't be able to repeat, you know, a couple nights later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
It's very interesting.
I agree with that take, to be honest with you. Of all their matches, I definitely feel that way about this one. The finish to the first near fall, the bump on the Doomsday device. My God. Dax the Axe, you're a demon. I also love the way the second one starts. Dax is bleeding from the chest almost immediately. We'll see that later on in this show, but this one, it just feels different like most other things do. At this point, I kind of noticed the Briscoes had been in control throughout the match, and FTR were having to find the ways to beat them. They're having to find the ways to sneak in and gain their own little bits of control. And one of the ways they do it is their tag team cutoff. And this one is the best of them all. It is timed so well, I nearly screamed when I saw it, because this is when I really noticed that it was happening. I said, oh my God, these fuckers love this shit. Yeah. And I loved it too. This is the best one, the perfect timing, just absolute perfect timing. Another thing that's perfectly timed is the crowd brawl, the breakdown of the match. Definitely needed it at that moment, I felt like, and that it injected a lot of life into it. And we get in a third fall, as intense as it could possibly be. These two guys that have color. We've introduced some blood into these matches, which is we'll see more blood in their third match, but this one feels, again, the blood is different. It's not through dog collars or anything like that. It's through hard work. It's through some aggression. It's through maybe a bell from time to time. But this third fall is so intense. The crowd really gets with it. They at one point Dax breaks up a pinfall on the Doomsday device and they fucking lose it. And they lose it for the finish too. If there's any way to end a match of this length, I thought that the pile driver from the second rope is the way to go. Especially with the way that it's sold. It was just perfect. This is, now I think about it, it's probably my second favorite of this. But I love it. In terms of the rivalry, the trilogy, it is kind of tough when I don't really remember the first one all that well. It's just been a long time.
You gotta watch it.
I do, because we've watched them because of this show. We've watched the last two, so I'm gonna have to go back for the first one. But I love this match. It's just glorious scraps. It's glorious scraps.
Hell yeah! Bombs mentions the collision vignette. It looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, there's a giant screen here, but you don't see it, so it's okay.
Oh my god, it looks fucking awesome.
Oh my god, that looks insane. Holy
Jesus.
Glory to unique professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Goodness. Okay. Can you hear my TV?
No, you're good. You're safe.
I'm gonna keep it on. Fuck it. I'm gonna start this next match because I don't want to end the show on a sour note. We are now in enemy territory, Britland. The first thing I noticed, FTR Aussie Open. So sorry. FTR Aussie Open from Royal Quest 2, October of 2022, I believe. These three matches took place in like 4 months of each other. Oh my god. These are the last two matches we covered. Ridiculous. The first thing I noticed immediately, holy shit, Kai Fletch's transition is even crazier than I thought.
Dude.
He looks
insane.
It's wild. He looks so young
he's
here.
He's oiled up too, which is very.
This was less than 3 years ago, by the way.
That's so crazy.
Which, like, the physical transformation, when you think about it in the context of 3 years, isn't that crazy. But the work in the ring is like miles better these days, in my opinion. So like, it's pretty fucking wild.
But there's about 25 months between this match and his match with Will, the Full Gear one.
Yeah, I mean that's bananas. That's insane. Transitioning to the other member of Aussie Open for a sec, very briefly. I quite miss Mark Davis, and I hope very badly that he can return to this form someday. Anyways, as far as my feelings for the overall match, I'm not quite as high on it as I once was.
Wow.
I think the match struggles to find a pace, especially during like the Aussie Open heat that frankly isn't that much fun to watch for me.
Wow.
Takes up a large portion of the match as well. Didn't do a lot for me. It isn't all bad. I think the minute or so before the hot tag has some cool stuff. Cash hits like fucking awesome European uppercut on Mark, and Mark sells it very well. Cash hits a suicide dive to the dive in this match. The only time I believe that he hits the dive in these matches.
A real suicide dive, bro. My God.
Yeah. Dax and Mark bleed a lot in this match. For some reason, I don't remember anybody bleeding here, but especially Mark. He bleeds a fucking lot. The way Aussie Open get out of the double sharpshooter towards the end of the match is kind of dumb, but cool. The crowd chants, "This is wrestling" afterwards. Fucking losers. The strike exchange closer to the finish feels pretty forced, I'm not going to lie. But then, the double drop down into the big rig finish popped me. Overall, not as good as I remembered, to be quite honest. But an interesting match to watch, given where everybody's at in their careers now. I'm sad that I didn't like this match that much.
Jesus.
I thought it was...
This is fucking crazy. Okay. What's going on?
I don't know. I didn't like it that much. It was very weird.
Wow.
And I wasn't even tired. I watched it today.
Wow.
Dude.
I just didn't like it that much.
I think me and Khalid are gonna have some different opinions than yours, judging by the reactions going on screen right now,
not gonna
bro.
lie, this is my least favorite match that I watched out of all these.
Oh, wow.
No way, bro.
Wow.
You're psychotic,
I didn't like it that much, man.
dude.
And you know it's true because we're an hour and 10 minutes into this, and there's 6 people watching. I'm not doing this for clout. Like,
Wow.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Cancel me if you want.
Go ahead and
You know what I mean?
cancel me. Just go
Yeah.
ahead.
Nova, you seem pretty positive on this, pretty high on this match, huh?
This is my favorite match on this fucking card, man.
Wow.
I love this fucking match. This is fantastic.
Wow.
Man, the way the London crowd sets the tone before this match
Fucking
is
losers.
glorious, bro. The dueling chants that just can't quit. I mean, there's dueling chants, but this is a real dueling chant. And I noted that Fletcher is striking at this point. He has the middle part, but he doesn't have the hair to pull it off, and he's very skinny. And
Yeah.
for some reason, he's very wet in this match to start. And it was very interesting. Shout out to him for how much he's changed. But I do remember why I was so high on him watching him work both Dax and Cash. I thought he was still very good at this point. It's just a different kind of good. Like now it's a lot more objective, you know what I mean? But this kind of stuff is more, I'm cool with it. There was a sign of things to come when you first begin this match, because Dax and Davis both get busted open with chops very early on. I kind of sense, because I'd forgotten a lot about this match. I remember loving it, but I'd forgotten a lot. Kind of sense where that was going to go. And you say that the Aussie Open control segment was not for you. I think this was maybe the best control we saw on this entire 5-match thing.
That's not true.
I love their control segment. It is so stiff. They're playing up to the crowds.
Listen, brother, do you remember how in control the Briscoes were on Cash Wheeler in that fucking match?
I love that too. But something here just connected with me. And Cash.
Yeah, all right, you fucking Mark.
And here's the thing too. I was talking about being a Cash guy. Cash gets a really heated hope spot because of how good their control work is. And he's always good at that stuff. He's so good at being the babyface in peril.
You're in on everything.
Yes, but they're good at it. They're really good at it. And they're really here for Cash, man. It's fantastic. They run back, of course, the cutoff spot. Unfortunately, this was the worst of the cutoff spots because they kind of fucked up the time and they went a little early on it, but it has to be mentioned they did do it in this match. It was just a little early. Dax becomes the babyface in peril not long after Cash does. They kind of get him back in. He's just as good at it. It kind of gives credence to your bust. Cash should do more hot tag stuff, which I definitely agree with. I felt the exchange in center ring with these two bloody brawlers going at it. I found it very earned. Unlike you, where you found it phony and fraudulent, as you said.
Yeah.
I heard that. That was your exact wording. I felt it was very earned. Fletcher breaks out of the sharpshooters with the slaps. I thought that was fucking incredible. The near falls at the end are just perfect. The shove from Cash to break up the pin. What timing on that? That was impeccable timing. And then the teases for the very finish, the big rig to finish, was a very small thing because they ran the ropes a couple extra times before they hit it. And it was small, but it made the finish, the actual big rig, hit so much harder. That's the kind of little things you notice when we watch FTR because they're good at that kind of stuff. They're good at knowing when they should place it. I understand maybe I do get your criticism. I understand how you could not be high on this match nowadays just because I know how your tastes have changed.
Yeah.
Clearly, I still have this kind of stuff in for me now. This is fantastic. I fucking love this match.
Yeah, watch it in 2 years' time, kid. I'm interested to hear Khalid's, but I'm gonna go Caden Lee. Go ahead.
I also really like this match. I don't think I'm like as high on it as Novi is, but like I thought this was fantastic. This was my favorite match. Like it's between this and the Bucks match, but like I think I prefer this a tiny bit because I think there's like some things they can do where they go a little further. There are moments in the match that like I was like, oh, this is kind of stupid, but I also bought in and was like, this kind of rules too, so I don't really care. Great time.
I have to rewatch it and just buy in.
And I was in on this match. I've never seen this match actually. This was the only one out of the 5
Wow,
I had
really?
never seen.
That's
I don't
crazy.
know. and the basically like what had happened was I had heard how good it was, and I love Aussie like I loved Aussie Open and FTR at this time, and I meant to watch it, and something like it's one of those ones where like you just don't end up getting to it, and I think at a certain point in like 2023 I was scared that it was going to disappoint me.
That's
I
fair.
finally I watched it, and
I think this was actually like the first New Japan match I ever watched. Like I
Really?
just because I loved FTR so much, it was like the first match I remember really seeking out when I started
Wow.
getting back into wrestling.
wow,
That was probably the first like New Japan branded match I ever watched.
that's
That's crazy.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have many notes on this because I just kind of wanted to enjoy this one. One of the only notes I have is Dax is pouring blood, oh baby. So
Fair.
yeah, this ruled.
It's a good
at the
note, to be
time.
fair. Yeah.
This is one that like I'm gonna rewatch in like a year or two and kind of see if I still feel that way on the second watch. But I assume I will because this is like very up my alley.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you'll grow out of it. Modest Genius here. He says, "Sorry, I'm late, lads. Don't worry. Don't worry."
Be on time next time. All right.
All right, brother.
Watch the clock. All right.
All right. He says, I did hear Buster Bear in the Aussie Open match. I haven't seen it. Only one on the list I haven't seen. Yeah, don't watch it. I'm kidding. Watch it. If you want. I personally just think it's like a fucking badly paced back and forth match that doesn't
Jesus.
Wow,
doesn't do much for me.
Disgusting.
fucking hates it.
While we're doing this, Bomb says, I feel like Aussie Open had a few requests in this match based on what FTR did with the Briscoes. It's a little silly at times, but I still love it. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Again, maybe I need to rewatch and just buy in. Khalid.
Yeah, maybe try to have fun this time.
Yeah.
Shut up.
We know you hate fun, Buster.
Used Harley Cameron was in this goddamn match. Khalid, thoughts? You seem very high on this one as well.
Yeah. This is definitely my favorite out of 5. I can't believe
Fuck,
man.
Yes, all three of us. Yes.
I'm honestly like, I'm shocked and I'm hurt by your decisions and words tonight. But yeah, I mean, like, this is like for me and for Aussie Open, because before this match, I was already watching Aussie Open, but this match was to me like their made man match. Like this is what made them, took them to the next level. I felt like, but FTR, like, I feel like the UK is probably the only place outside of Texas that likes Dax this much. Is actually like insane. They love Dax out there. They like Cash too, but they love Dax like crazy. Did Ricochet just beat Shibata?
he did do that. Yeah, we knew it was gonna happen, brother. Don't.
I mean, yeah, I looked away and I looked back and I heard the bell ring. I said, "Fuck."
Yeah.
But I want to talk about Aussie Open for a minute. All right. Some folks might need to get their tissues out because depending on how much you like Aussie Open. Unfortunately,
I don't know.
Just like Red Dragon, just like many other teams. Even though I personally think that no one is too good to hold a tag rope. And I'm saying that as a person that knows that Tanahashi worked every tag league from 2010 to 2022. Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis, they're probably not going to be like a fully fledged tag team like ever again, which is pretty unfortunate. But when you do think about it, it does make sense. Some people don't know this. Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis are not the same age. Mark Davis.
No, he's much older, right? Or considerably older.
Yeah. Mark Davis is 36. Kyle Fletcher is 20. Or, yeah.
26. I think.
Yeah, 26. They're 10 years apart. Mark Davis is 17 years. He's going to be 18 years into his career in April. So what he's doing now and him having that injury that he had and how long he was gone, it doesn't surprise me that he's not going to be this, who he was in this match right here.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like
I don't think anybody should expect him to be like that. At least anytime soon.
Yeah, not anytime soon. But like, I know, like for a lot of people, for Aussie Open, when they were watching at this time, they was pretty high on Mark Davis. Like Mark Davis is the best member. It was like Mark Davis is the cooler guy for some people.
Yeah, that's how I was.
And everyone was like, Kyle Fletcher is just mini Osprey. That's what the sentiment really was for like a while until they got like AEW. and then things started to turn around and things like that. But this match, I don't know how you don't like. I really thought you was gonna be done like years later. Like, damn, like that's really shocking to me. The heat segment or the whole like Aussie Open taking control thing, I feel like that was fire. Young guys taking advantage of the older vets. Holy shit!
I mean, the concept is good, but just
But you hate fun.
Shut up.
I don't know.
The actual, like,
The way Mark Davis started beating their ass, I was like, yo, this shit is woo, this shit. That was really fucking with it. Like, oh my goodness. This is great. And there's certain moments where I'm like if I had a time machine, like I'm bringing these boys back with me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm bringing even though I love Cal Fletcher now, like, you know, I love what he's doing. I would have liked for this Aussie Open to have a genuine AEW run, you know,
yeah,
and for this match to have probably take place, you know, in AEW on more because that match that they had, I was what was it, Dynasty?
Wrestle Dream.
I mean, like
It was fine.
Yeah, Mark gets injured like mid-match.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like it's really unfortunate. I'll talk about one spot here because I haven't covered no spot. There's one spot here. When they do the double sharpshooters, Kyle starts slapping Mark Davis. That's for me. That's for me right there. That's for me. That's for me. That's for me. When I first watched it, I thought they were going to tap right there, and then he just started slapping and shouting him. And then I also thought back to like recently when Kyle Fletcher slaps Mark Davis like, all the fucking time. I was like, damn, like, is that real shit? That's that real shit. Because even though Mark is the older guy, and then he is he's the more experienced one, it's Kyle that lights that fire in him to not give up and to not tap right there. That shit is just yeah, Brian, I can't believe you. I hate you now. And yeah,
Whoa, brother.
All right.
The Grabs podcast is over.
Well, I have all the fucking logins. I'll just bring Joe Holbert in.
What the fuck?
Jesus. You're gonna replace Khalid with a white man?
What the
It's
fuck?
fucked up, man.
Jesus, brother.
Wow.
It's kind of
It's the
messed
end of the
up.
show. I'm trying. Listen. Everything's fine, okay? Draft podcast is not actually ending. I don't think, at least. Are we good, Khalid?
We're fine. We're good.
Okay.
That's not convincing at all. I would
Yeah,
worry.
this is not even remotely. Hey, Khalid. Now that we're at the end of this episode of Cagematch Chronicles covering FTR,
It's time.
do you have the wheels?
It's time.
Let me get him up.
Okay.
Caden, you've never been here for this. This is where shit gets real.
I have not
This is
been here.
this is where we decide the next episode of Cagematch Chronicles.
If it lands on a wrestler, we're skipping it.
Yes. Yeah. Lands on wrestler, we skip it. So next month we're either covering a year, a match type, or a promotion.
Oh,
Or no.
right.
If it lands on a tag team, take off the tag team.
Yeah, take off the tag team. Actually, thinking about it, we have covered a lot of wrestlers recently, but
Yeah, fuck it. Just do.
the
Just do
wrestlers
match
are
type-
there.
Match
Do
type
wrestlers.
years. No,
Match
fuck it.
type year
Match
promotion.
type year and promotion. Yeah.
Not let the wheel decide. That's the point of the wheel.
This is my show.
Okay. My bad.
All right. There's
You can
a
keep
fucking
rushing on there if you want. I'm kidding.
Let me make sure there's no ad.
Blame my thumb, Folly.
It's okay. I only joking.
Thank God. Oh, the low
There we
FPS wheel.
Yeah,
is
the
back.
low FPS wheel is back, fellas. Watch it spin.
Hold on. It's got a little
Never
bit of
mind.
pace to it.
Yeah, there we go.
Ooh.
Match
Zip.
type. Okay.
All right. hold on,
We're
let
gonna
me-
cover promotions one of these days.
Yeah, we are.
Surely.
We are.
Fuck.
Let me
Dude,
get
we're
the
gonna
match
cover
to pull out
promotions.
real
It's gonna
quick.
be AEW. It's over.
Oh no, it's not.
Let me
No,
get,
it is not.
let me get the wheel. Do I have it? Yes, I do.
AEW
Okay.
promotion's gonna pop up. Caden's gonna scream and cry.
Dog collar.
I'm just gonna be
Oh.
livid.
You're gonna be sitting there mad as hell, and Caden's gonna go, "Dude, I can't wait to cover Hangman and Kenny versus the Bucks. It's gonna be awesome."
All right. So we have the match stipulation wheel up.
Oh baby.
Check the frames.
I did take the dog collar out. I think that's the
Yeah,
only
that's
one we've covered so far.
Uh-huh.
So
Jesus, Iron Man is gonna be bananas.
Iron Man.
Oh shit! There's Iron Man on this shit.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, bro.
Perhaps we'll go 30-minute Iron Man.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Gleason.
Perhaps we'll watch Kenny versus Pac. Maybe
Yeah.
it's gonna be Iron Man, dude. Fuck.
We
Oh
already
wait,
did
I
no
forgot to
DQ.
take the DQ off.
We
Hold
already
on, hold
did no
You
DQ.
can
on. I
take it
forgot to take that off.
off.
Hold on. Oh, my bad.
Come on.
I had forgot about that. I'm sorry, we're running a sloppy promotion here. I'm sorry.
Now it's
Spin
gonna be
it
Iron
again.
Man. We're fucked. Oh. Oh.
Okay, listen here, fellas. Hold on.
Oh.
I think we respin because hardcore is just no DQ.
That's fair.
It's the
That's
same
fair.
fucking thing.
Goodness.
I'm sorry, but that's the same thing.
Yeah. I had them both on there
Yes.
because Cagematch has them as both separate.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. We just
That's the same match. I'm
spin
sorry.
it again.
Why is an ambulance match on here?
Why isn't it
Yeah, let's put it on here.
a 4? Ooh, that's interesting. Okay.
That's a quirky one. That's a
interesting.
quirky one. Top of your
Well,
head,
that main event,
what
if you're
four
trying to
ways comes to
find-
mind? What 4 ways?
There's a 4-way. I'm not saying it has a redacted name in it, but it's one of the, it's like one of the best 4-ways.
Oh, we're gonna watch that one. I hate to say,
Yeah,
it.
we're
We're definitely
watching-
gonna watch that one.
Brain has already said we can't watch it. We're not watching.
We
it.
have.
No,
we
we're watching
are
it.
watching
Okay.
it.
I said we can cover his matches. We just can't. We can't do fucking Cagematch Chronicles Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
So the high. So
No,
the
it's not him.
highest.
It's not him. It's not him.
Oh.
Khalid, you're talking about this one. The highest rated 4-way on Cagematch is from 2018. Hiromu Takahashi,
Oh,
Kushida, Will Ospreay, and Marty Skrull.
Mhm. It is the best 4-way. I'm not gonna lie.
All right.
It
Well,
is.
we can watch it. We could watch it. It'll be fine.
The second one is Darby, Jack, and
All right. Stop spoiling the fucking.
People know these 4-ways.
Jesus,
It
brother.
doesn't matter. They know them.
Yeah, but they don't know what we're covering. You know what I mean?
Well, we don't have
Anyways.
to cover. We're probably not going to do that one. That sounds terrible.
We'll see what happens. Novi, you have anything to plug?
I have a YouTube channel. You should go check it out. It's in the description, I hope.
It is. It's
That's-
actually not. I'll put it in there in a second.
You piece of shit.
Hey, every other link you have is in there though. I
What
just
the
forgot to-
hell?
My
That's
bad.
the one. That's the one link.
You have enough subscribers, bro. You don't need any more.
That's not true at all. I would say. I would like more, please.
Bleed. Oh,
yeah.
sorry. Do you have anything else?
Maybe
Novi?
I did, but you just cut me off.
No,
so
go
now-
ahead. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I don't want to. I don't want to say anymore. Actually,
Anyways, guys, Novi hasn't had enough sleep yet. He's getting hangry. He's getting pretty aggressive.
I'm actually pretty hungry.
Khalid, anything to promote?
Twitch.
That's in the description.
Yeah.
Oh, is it now, huh? I bet it is.
Next weekend we're doing time capsule, right? Next weekend. All right.
I think next
Or-
weekend is Grabscast,
Grapscast. Okay, Grapscast.
and then the one after that is Pure Time Capsule.
Okay. So, next week, Grapscast. Week after that, we're doing Kairu Ito for a time capsule in 2 weeks. Beast stuff. Should definitely pop out.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah, that's it.
Caden Lee, anything to plug?
Late night grin.
Oh
There's
yeah.
going to be a Monday night. We're all grin along.
Sure.
I think it's at like,
3
what time does that show? Like 4 Eastern?
Eastern.
3 Eastern? Yeah. So I don't know if I'll be there, but like that's going to be a thing. If you're a member of Gold, if you're not a member of Gold, join Gold. If you are a member of Gold,
Yes.
join the Discord. I added some new channels today. I was requested. Novi, someone requested a NASCAR channel, so that's been added. And then I added some stuff for.
Wasn't even me.
television.
Who did
Modest,
that?
we were gonna go live in the Discord for the Teach show tonight, and then I said that it was at 12 o'clock, and the guys went, "Well,
I would normally be okay doing it. I just like can't.
yeah." I mean, Caden has
I would as
legitimate.
well.
Caden has legitimate.
Yeah.
You know, things.
Hey,
I-
so do I. I'm
Novi, I
sleepy.
think Novi's just tired, which like fair. I get that.
I'm sleepy.
I told
my
the
goodness.
fellas we should watch Collision in the Discord. Everyone shut me down.
And that
I
one,
didn't-
I said, no.
Oh yeah, Cleve, I gotta get you in the Discord. I forgot. I'll send you a link after this, or an invite after this, just so you can like hang out or whatever.
Actually has to pay.
No, he fucking doesn't. I don't care. If fucking Joe's not gonna get mad at that, but if Joe gets mad at that, hey, shut up.
Okay. Bus, what if we go live for Collision?
You guys can. I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah, we got to record stuff after
Yeah,
this.
Caden and Bob have to record something
Nope.
special.
Don't
Listen,
Don't
say
say
it.
about it.
Hour and 30 minutes in, 6 people watching. Nobody else talk about what I just said. Fair? Fair. Jeez.
Look
Oh
at
my
this
God,
backstage
Mark
segment
Davis.
with Megan Bain right now.
Mark
Yeah, she-
Davis and Mark Briscoe is about to start.
Oh boy,
Who?
Oh baby, he's a big boy.
Mark Davis.
Yeah, dude, he's so big. I didn't realize how big he had gotten until I watched the Aussie Open match. Like,
Jesus.
oh my God, he got big.
Goodness.
All right, fellas. We're going to head out. See y'all next week for Grabscast on LNG, things like that. Later.
Bye-bye.
No, don't play the outro. Fuck. Okay, there we go. End stream. Bye.